Boom, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Nolan Hawkeye Anthony YouTube channel. And as always, I thank all of you for being here wherever you may be and however you may be listening. I'm going to get this shared out everywhere. It'll take a couple seconds. While I'm doing that, I do also want to say that if you want to send a donation, you can do so through the channel or vis-a-vis a super chat. Those are a couple of ways. Let me share this on Facebook here. Iowa versus SDSU. Post-game reaction. What a game, y'all. What a game. And when I mean what a game, what I really mean to say is what a boring game. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Everything is pretty much the same when it comes to Iowa football. I had hopes that things were going to be different. Now, it is possible that because Iowa was missing so many of their weapons, it is possible that perhaps the offense we saw today is the B offense of the possible A offense that could exist. But on the same token, I have given this team so many the offense so many excuses that I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to continue to put myself out there hoping for things to change when they simply are not likely to. So it's again, the offense we saw today, the personnel was probably the B offense. And I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, well, the offense that we see next time is going to be way better because it's going to be a different offense. It's going to be the A offense. But you have who you have, guys. You have who you have. And, you know, how many other teams would use the excuse of the offense? Now, okay, before I continue down the road of how bad the Iowa offense is and all this and that, South Dakota State is a good team, okay? This game was way closer than I anticipated. I was totally wrong when I said that Iowa was going to score 28 points. Terrible prediction. I'm so mad at myself for thinking that Iowa could score even anywhere close over 20 points. But the good news is the defense looked elite. They came up and they showed out. They looked exactly how I expected them to look, how all the Iowa fans expected them to look. They are absolutely elite. They scored more points than the Iowa offense. The Iowa defense came up with 4 points, 2 safeties, and the Iowa defense came up with 4 points, 2 safeties, and the Iowa offense came up with a measly 3 points. This defense is elite, folks. It is elite. Again, you can send a super chat if you want. This defense is elite. Jack Campbell looked good. Cooper DeJean looked good. Riley Moss looked good. Terry Roberts looked good. Defensive line looked good. And ultimately, the game came down to two good defenses. I think Iowa's defense was better than South Dakota State's defense. It came down to two defenses and which defense could get the W for the other team. That's what it came down, because both offenses were abysmal, absolutely abysmal. Only Iowa's offense, you could decide to leave after the first quarter of the Iowa Hawkeye game and come back, and you would have missed zero aspect of the game. Yeah, there would have been tons of plays in between, but you would have missed almost none of the game. Let's look at the team stats here. Total yards, Iowa 166, 120 for South Dakota State. Passing yards, 109 for Iowa, 87 for South Dakota State. Rushing yards, 57 for Iowa, 33 for South Dakota State. That's the one thing that I am surprised about. I thought Iowa's run game could absolutely get going today. But when your passing offense is so bad, and this has been the case for a while, and you have like zero deep threat, the other team can stack the box because they know that they don't need to give any extra attention to the other facet of the game. Yards per carry, 2.7 for Iowa and 2.1 for South Dakota State. First downs, 10 to 6. Third downs, 4 for 17, 3 for 16. Punts, 10 to 11. Penalties, 2 for 15, 12 for 66. That was definitely a difference in the game here. Fumbles lost, 1 to 0. Interceptions thrown, 1 to 0. So Iowa definitely lost the turnover battle. Time of possession, TOP, 30 minutes and 6 seconds for South Dakota State. 29 minutes and 54 seconds for Iowa. Listen, guys, it's hard for me to get excited about what I just saw. Again, my final reaction, and I'm going to read some of your guys' comments. There's not really a ton to say here, guys. Iowa's defense is exactly what we thought it was going to be. It's elite. The punt game looked okay. The kicking game looked okay. You know what? I need to see. I can't remember who took the kick. Aaron Blom, 1 for 2. He did miss one. Not great. Arland Bruce had a decent game at wide receiver. Hopefully Sam Laporta is fine. I think he came back into the game, but he was pretty quiet the entire game. The defense is elite, and the offense, as per usual, was mediocre. It's vanilla. It's boring. It's predictable. There's no imagination to it. Spencer Petras probably had an F game, C- F. He went 11 for 25, 109 yards, 0 TDs, and 1 INT. They put up a graphic that in 1980 was the last time a score of 5-3 existed in a game, or, that late into the game. LaShawn Williams had 72 yards. That's not bad. 3 yards per carry is not great, though. It's hard for me to get excited. I mean, we have seen this before, guys. Is this conducive to Iowa winning 8-9 games? Yeah, it is, because we've seen it before. Last year, how many games did Iowa hold until the very last play of the game? The game was close until the very last play of the game. And if you looked at Iowa's record, you wouldn't expect that. We've seen this play out before. We've seen Iowa play it close. on their way to winning nine games. Do I feel uber confident about this team heading into Iowa State? Not really. I thought the offense would look better. But the defense is elite. And anytime you have a good defense, you have an elite defense, you're going to be in every game. You're going to be in every game, which is exactly what Iowa banks on. Iowa banks on having an elite defense, being in every game and winning it at the very end. That is the script of the Iowa Hawkeye football team. Great defense, good special teams, maybe some help from the kicking game and return game and the punt game. It's close all the way to the final score of the game. Iowa has a chance to win it. Ta-da! They win the game. So Iowa improves to 1-0. I'm going to read some of your guys' comments here. Here are the stats, as you guys can see. Go and follow me on Twitter at 247Hawkeye. Let me read some of the comments here. Calling today's offensive performance mediocre is the overstatement of the century. I mean, yeah, the offense was bad. It was bad. It was terrible. LOL, 7 points. Come on, guys. Michael Morin, our O-line did not look good today either. Put in Joey Labus. Can we hire the SDSU coaching staff? I think Iowa's coaching staff is relatively good. I think there's one glaring weakness, and that's Brian Ferentz. I said this so many times last year. I don't think he's a bad position coach. He's just not a good offensive play caller. He's just not. Spencer Petrash, Kurt Yedick, nothing. CJ Smith, it now exists on YouTube for the rest of time. Yep. Well, that game exists now. Brent Schmidt, Iowa needs a complete coaching overhaul. Listen, guys, I really don't think the coaching is bad for Iowa. I really don't. I think that the positional coaches are not that bad. The problem is the offensive philosophy and the offensive coordinator. That's the problem. The recruiting has been way better. The coaches have been recruiting way better positionally. The tight ends put guys in the NFL. The O-line puts guys in the NFL. The linebacking core puts guys in the NFL. D-line puts guys in the NFL. Hell, even the wide receiver group did with Amir Smith-Marset. It's just Iowa, when it comes to putting points on the board, they are trash. They're terrible. Absolutely terrible. I am a big believer in Joey Labus. I've said this going way back that I would roll the dice with Joey Labus because his upside is tremendous. And if you put him in right now at the beginning of the season, by the time it gets to the end of the season, all the hiccups would be there and he would have already gone through all of them. His ceiling is super high. And you can't tell me that he would be much worse than what we saw today. I think he is the option. Now, the problem is, again, the offensive philosophy is the problem. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Again, you guys can support the channel if you'd like. Send a donation through the channel super chat. Iowa improves to 1-0, baby. Just win, baby. Just win. Just win. 1-0. They beat South Dakota State 7-3. One last thing before I go. For the life of me, I do not understand why Iowa continues to schedule FCS teams like South Dakota State. Iowa, if they beat South Dakota State, receive 0 positive points, but if they lose, they get all the negative benefits or negative consequences. To me, there are plenty other FBS teams that they could schedule that would be better for their schedule than South Dakota State. An FCS team does nothing for your schedule. Nothing. Everybody expected Iowa to win this game, but if they lost, it would make them look terrible. Last thing, I know I said last thing there. There was a South Dakota State fan in my preview video who said Iowa or that South Dakota State was going to win. You know what? Let's pull that up. Let me pull that up. Let me see if I can find it. I don't want to blast him here. I don't want to blast him, but I told him that it wasn't going to happen. I told him that it was just not going to happen. Let's look at this. Oh, shoot. Anyways, he predicted that South Dakota State was going to win. Let's see here. Let's look at this. 27-14 in favor of the Jacks. Albino Ghost. Come on, man. Totally wasn't going to happen. Now, in fairness, I predicted Iowa to score 28 points myself, but totally didn't happen. All right, guys, let me get a few more comments here. I'll get a few more of your comments. Let me see here. And we will get out of here. I really do appreciate all your guys' support. And this has been a blast. All right, a couple more. The sad thing is no five-star recruits will ever help a poor systematic approach. It doesn't matter how good the players we get are. I agree. SDSU had less offense than us, but somehow looked twice as good. How is that possible? It's crazy. Tom Hartle, I said during the halftime stream that the D needed to score. True. Michael Morin, probably just a Nebraska fan. Yeah, possibly. He probably was. You'd be surprised how many people dress themselves up, but are actually the team that Iowa. Yeah, that's true. I've seen many Wisconsin fans, many Nebraska fans say that they are fans of the team Iowa is playing, only for that not to be true. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I will be putting out a preview video for the next game. Hopefully this continues. At the end of the day, guys, Iowa is 1-0, and that is all that matters. All right, guys, I will see you guys next time. DBAP, don't be a pussy willow. In facts or feelings, because your feelings don't matter. Love you guys. See you guys next time. Go Hawks.